welcome to another episode of TalkYOSpitTV. I'm your host, Mario Harris, man, and I got another one for y'all, man. This is about college football. The college football 2025 season is here, and the first week was very exciting, very, very exciting. I'm sorry that I don't have this video up. I didn't have this video up earlier. I don't think I'm gonna do week two review. Not a lot of big game, not a lot of good games going on week two. I mean, if one of these ranked teams, one of the top tier ranked teams get upset, I might do. If a few of these ranked teams get upset, I might do a review to say that. But I don't. From the looks of it, I don't see nobody getting upset. But hey, upset it. Memphis talk. I don't see nobody getting upset right now. So for right now, I don't think I'm gonna do a review on week two. But here's the review on week one. Starting off, we got number one Texas up against went up against number three Ohio State, man, and it was a lot of hype coming into this game, mainly because of quarterback Arch Manning. He gets to finally start his college. Well, he already been in college already for Texas, backing up Quinn Ewers last couple seasons. So now he finally gets his start and he's here. He's ready to show the world what he can do. Yes, he is the nephew of football Hall of Famers, quarterback Peyton and Eli Manning. But he comes into his college football season as ready to show the world what he can do. So he is already probably the most hyped player coming into this season so far. His first game as a starter, he goes up against the defending champions Ohio State, and that's a huge one. And it's at Ohio State too. And to also say that last year to end the season, Ohio State beat Texas in the playoff to end their season. So man, this game definitely come in with a lot of hype. So it was a very very big game for Arch, man, coming into it. I'm sure he had a lot of nerve coming into the game and whatnot. So let's get right into it, man. The first quarter, they no team scores, so we go right into the second quarter, and it wasn't too much really going on. It was a very defensive game, very conservative offense on both sides of the ball with the teams and whatnot. The Buckeyes did end up winning 14-7. But Art, he went 17 for 30 for 170 yards, one touchdown and one interception. Ohio State is one of the toughest defensive teams in the country. And Arch, he did show flashes of how good he can be, so flashes of his arm strength and his passing accuracy. In the fourth quarter, was trying to make a comeback. He threw a 32-yard touchdown pass to Parker Livingston, and it seemed like the Manning comeback was on the way. The Manning, the Peyton and Eli made some great comebacks in their college and in their NFL times, man. So we thought Arch was finna show that Manning comeback, but the Buckeyes eventually, when it came down to it, they end up stopping Texas on that last possession. Texas went 1-5 on fourth down with being stopped twice at the goal line. And then Ohio State quarterback Julian Sayin, man, which was his first collegiate start too, as he went 13 for 20, 126 yards and one touchdown. He seemed very, very calm and poised in that pocket. In the second quarter, he led a 80-yard drive that the Buckeyes ended up scoring on a rushing touchdown. Then in the third quarter, he threw a 40-yard touchdown pass to Cornell Tate, who made an amazing catch to score a touchdown on that drive. Saying playing a near perfect game by he was being more efficient and not flashy with his play. Ohio State as a whole, they controlled the majority of the game with their defense and being conservative on offense, controlling the fourth down. At the goal, they control the goal line on defense. Then the Buckeyes are now the number one team in the nation. This loss for the Longhorns knocked them down to number seven, but it shouldn't be looked at as a disappointment for the Longhorns or for Arch. I do believe they will bounce back from this, even though they are in the SEC and we'll have to play Florida. They have to play Oklahoma. They have to play Mississippi State. They got to play Georgia. They got to play Texas A&M. They have two home games in a row versus San Jose State and UTEP. So I do believe Texas will find their swagger back. I do believe Arch will find his swagger back and get ready for SEC play. They are looking to be one of the teams fighting for the national championship at the end of the season. So they need to find their swagger back quick, fast, and a hurry. Next, we got number 9 LSU versus number 4 Clemson. Man, this was an exciting, very, very exciting game. Man, I was hyped watching this game. Man, I love seeing two top tier teams going at it, and they really, really went at it. They laid it all out on the field right there. As I'm watching a lot of these college highlights right now, uh, both teams have a chance to be in the national championship game, just like Texas and Ohio State. LSU and Clemson, both teams have a chance to be in the national championship game when it's all said and done at the end of the season. This was a defensive showdown for the most part, though. You know, the offense they was cool. It was cool, but the defensive side of the ball on both teams, they really showed up and showed out. On the touchdown drive for Clemson in the second quarter, preseason Heisman candidate quarterback K. Klubnik looked stellar as he was making big plays with his arm and show how great he is at running and evading defenders. And then a run yard touchdown by running back Adam Randall allowed Clemson to take the lead. LSU also fumbled twice in the first half as Clemson recovered the ball both times. Going into halftime, Clemson was up 10-3. However, up to that point, also neither team, neither Clemson or LSU converted on a third down, making the Clemson defense very tough to beat. In fact, LSU ended the game 4 of 11 on third down, and Clemson was only 3 for 13 on third down. But the second half was a different story, different ball game for the Bayou Bengals, especially on defense. LSU either kept a spy or a speed edge rusher to disrupt Klubnik while in the pocket and didn't allow him to scramble as much as he did in the first half. Clemson had possession 3 times in the third quarter, and all 3 times they went 0 for 3 and also missed a field goal. Then Klubnik threw an interception. Then they had to punt. LSU scored on their first possession in the third quarter with a 8 play, 69-yard possession as Caden Durham 2-yard run touchdown ties the ball game 10-10. LSU next possession had a chance to take the lead, excuse me. However, ended up missing the field goal. With the game tied in the fourth quarter, now it's anybody's game, and neither team had any room for error. LSU had possession going into the fourth and 11 plays, 73 yards. They scored from a touchdown pass from fifth-year senior Garrett Nussmeier that gave LSU the lead 17-10, and that would be the final score as LSU defense either made Clemson turnover on down or punt in their possession in the fourth. LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier went 28 for 38 with 230 yards and 1 touchdown. But his biggest concern coming into the game was his interception rate, as he didn't have a single interception in this game against a good Clemson defense after leading the SEC last season with the most interceptions. Clemson Heisman hopeful K. Klubnik struggled in his first game of the season as he went 19 for 38, 230 yards, 0 touchdown, and 1 interception, and couldn't capitalize on any big plays. LSU dominated by managing the game on offense as they had the ball 37 minutes of the game. Then their defense stepped up big time on third down and fourth down conversion. Clemson offense failed to have a balanced attack as they only rushed for 1.6 yards per carry. But also, Clemson star wide receiver Antonio Williams, he suffered a concussion in the first quarter and he did not return to the game. And that caused a big impact to their offense. LSU now is ranked number 3 and Clemson is now ranked number 8. Next game we got number 6 Notre Dame going up against at number 10 Miami as quarterback 6-year senior Carson Beck makes his Miami debut after spending his first 5 years of college at Georgia and winning 2 national championships. Although Stetson Bennett was the starter for those 2 championship games, Beck last 2 years as starter at Georgia, he went 24-4 with the Orange Bowl win. First game of the 2025 season, he gets to play Notre Dame, who a lot of analysts coming into the season had the Fighting Irish label as one of the top defensives in the country. The first quarter from both teams was a very, very defensive-based game. Notre Dame punted twice and fumbled once. Then Miami had to punt and turnover on down on their two possessions. But the second quarter through the fourth quarter was very, very exciting as both teams were showing their offense and defensive abilities. First possession in the second, Miami goes 8 plays, 70 yards as Carson Beck throws a 28-yard touchdown pass to Malachi Tony. Then both teams go 3-and-out. On the Fighting Irish scoring drive, they went 11 plays, 68 yards, with quarterback C.J. Carr throwing 7-yard touchdown pass to Micah Gilbert. Notre Dame running back Jadarian Price also breaks out a 30-yard run on that possession. Then right before the half, Miami wide receiver C.J. Daniel with probably already the catch of the year on a spectacular one-handed 20-yard touchdown catch. The score at halftime is Miami 14-7. Next in the third, Miami extended their lead on a 75-yard 12-play drive with a 5-yard touchdown run by Shamar Brown. Miami leads 21-7 going into the fourth. Notre Dame scored first in the fourth on an 11-play, 64-yard with C.J. Carr throwing a 1-yard touchdown pass to Jordan Faison. Miami next possession is 3-and-out, and the Fighting Irish has momentum down 7 with more than enough time on the clock. However, 2 plays in, Carr throws an interception which sets up a Miami field goal, and the score now is 24-14. Then Notre Dame follows up with a field goal on their next possession. After the Hurricanes go 3-and-out again, Carr throws a pass to an wide open Eli Redden. That sets up a 7-yard touchdown run by Carr. That ties the ball game. Miami kicks a field goal, and now Notre Dame only has 1 minute left in the game to either tie with the field goal or score. But Miami defense steps up big time in the clutch as they sack Carr twice. Then Notre Dame gets a false start penalty, and Miami Hurricanes gets the dub, 27-24, in a thrilling home season opener game. Miami's quarterback Carson Beck went 20 for 30 with 205 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and no interception. Notre Dame quarterback C.J. Carr went 19 for 30, 221 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, plus 1 rushing touchdown. Miami's offense looks high-powered, versatile, and flat-out good. Wide receiver Malachi Tony made 6 catches for 82 yards and 1 touchdown. Then they also have a 2-back system with Shamar Brown and Mark Fletcher Jr. They combined for 119 yards. Miami's defense forced a timely interception in the fourth, recovered a fumble, then had 2 big sacks to seal the game. Miami looks to be one of the teams fighting for a national championship too in this college football playoff this season. But their season won't be easy. They have to play Florida, then the very next week they have to play Florida State. Then they have to play SMU. Miami is now ranked number 5, while Notre Dame is now ranked number 9. Next game I got is number 8, Alabama at Florida State. After last season, horrible and very underperforming season, with a 2-win, 10-loss season, Florida State coach Mike Norvell and the Seminoles look to bounce back. And what better way to bounce back than to play a season home opener against number 8 Alabama. Seminoles quarterback and transfer Tommy Castellanos leads the way, and in the offseason, he made a bold statement to bring more hype to the game. And he did not disappoint. But who I was very looking forward to watch was quarterback Ty Simpson of Alabama. Ty Simpson, he's straight out of Martin, Tennessee. It's where I went to college, as you see right here. Go Skyhawks. He played his senior ball. He played his whole high school career at Westview in Martin, Tennessee. And I used to do camera work out there in Martin. I seen him play a couple times, and he has shown that he's a dual threat quarterback. But also the one thing that stood out for me from him is his passing accuracy. Dude got an arm on him, and he can pass that ball right in the pocket to any and every receiver. And now as a junior, he gets his first start after playing behind Bryce Young and Jalen Milroe. And Alabama is looking forward to bounce back on their own from their own disappointing season as they went 9-4 and lost in a bowl game to Michigan. First quarter of the game, first possession for Alabama, and they strike first. 17 plays, 75 yards. Simpson gets his first career touchdown on a 2-yard pass to Josh Corvus. Hope I said that name right. Then Florida State, they turn up. Next three possessions, they score. Tommy Castellanos run for a 9-yard for a touchdown. Micah Danzy run for a 32-yard for a touchdown. Then a 45-yard field goal kick to put Florida State up 17-7 going into the half. Second possession in the third quarter for Florida State. Castellanos throws a wide open Jalen Lucas for a 64-yard reception. Then the next drive, Kaiser Holmes run for a 4-yard for a touchdown. Alabama kicks a field goal on the next possession to bring the score to a 24-10. Florida State up onto the fourth, and Bama has the ball down two touchdowns. And Ty Simpson pass complete to Josh Corvus again for a 27-yard first down. Few plays later, Simpson pass complete to Rico Scott for a 6-yard touchdown, and the score is now 24-17 Seminoles. On this next possession for Florida State, the Crimson Tide defense needs to do something they haven't done all game, and that's stop the offense from driving the ball and scoring. But unfortunately for the Tide, they get rolled over. First they commit a 15-yard penalty, and then they allow Micah Danzy to break out another big run for 26 yards. And then lastly, Gavin Sawchuk seals the game with a run for a 14-yard for a touchdown, as the Florida State Seminoles get a huge win to start the season with a 31-17 score over Alabama. Now, although Ty Simpson does look good for the most part of the game, he threw for 254 yards, 23 for 43, and a 2 touchdown. And by the stats wise, if you just look at the stat between the two quarterbacks, you would think he outplayed Tommy Castellanos, who had 152 yards, and he went 9 for 14. He had 0 touchdown, but it was really the rushing attack for the Seminoles that really hurt Bama. Florida State dominated on the ground, 230 yards rushing yard on 63 rushes, and Bama failed to convert on a lot of third and fourth down conversions. They were 6 of 17 on third down conversions and 2 of 5 on fourth down conversions. Next, the defense for FSU was very active, as I just mentioned. They stopped Bama on those conversions, but they also had 3 sacks for 28 yards, and they had 7 tackles for loss with 37 yards lost. Lastly, the Crimson Tide basically beat themselves, as they had 8 penalties and that costed them 70 yards. FSU controlled the game with their run attack, not only from 3 different running backs, but also with the quarterback scramble, which allowed them to have the balanced offense. Next game for Bama, as they move down the rank to number 21, they play UL Monroe. So they look to bounce back and fix a lot of mistakes that they had in this past game. But also they are in the SEC, so they have to figure those problems out quickly. As they would play at Georgia, then Vanderbilt, who also beat them last season. Then they play Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, and Oklahoma 4 weeks in a row. Then they end the season at Auburn. Florida State now is ranked number 14, and they have a solid schedule ahead of them, as they will play at Virginia, with many experts thinking they could lose that game. Then the very next game, they have to play Miami, then at Clemson, and then they'll conclude their season at Florida. Well, those were the biggest game to me of this week 1 of this college football season. Number 2, Penn State beats Nevada 46-11 with 4 rushing touchdowns, with ESPN analysts proclaiming running back Nicholas Singleton is among the best running backs of the country. Then you had number 5, they beat Marshall 45-7. Quarterback Gunnar Stockham is one of the preseason Heisman favorites. And then number 15, Florida, they shut out Long Island 55-0. Number 17, Kansas State versus North Dakota wins a close one with 38-35, as QB Avery Johnson engineered an 81-yard 10-play drive capped by a 6-yard touchdown pass to Joe Jackson with 42 seconds left in the game. They got them to win. Then number 24, Tennessee beat Syracuse 45-26 with transfer quarterback Joey Aguilar taking over, as he had the Vols up 17-0 in the first quarter. But by the fourth, Syracuse cut the lead down to 12 after an early touchdown in the fourth. But Aguilar leads another touchdown possession to seal the game. So, those were my biggest games of the week 1 from college football to start this 2025 season. I'm gonna try to keep this up. Like I said, I don't think I will have a review. I'm just thinking about the games in week 2. I don't think I'll have a review up for the games in week 2. Not too many big games going on week 2, but if there's some big upsets, I will have the review. So look out for that. But by week 4, I'm definitely gonna have some review as week 4 does start a lot of conference play for a lot of teams. So I know it's gonna be a lot of big games by week 4 up. So look for the review by week 4 again. However, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you have already subscribed, thank you for that. Like, comment, share. Please comment on this video if you want to talk about college football. If you know me personally, I am honestly not the biggest college football fan. I'm a huge sports fan, huge football fan, yes. But college football is just a lot going on. More of a college basketball fan. So when college basketball starts, trust me, I will have my reviews and predictions and everything on that. But until then, man, thank y'all for watching. This is Talk Your Spit TV. I'm your host, Mario. Thank you.